Ladies and gentlemen, right now as we speak, we are seeing the most intense, tightest compression that Bitcoin has seen since February 2025. The last time we saw compression this tight on the Bitcoin daily chart Bollinger Bands, we saw a 21% move occurring within just 4 days. That is the level of compression Bitcoin is seeing. That is what Bitcoin has to look forward to in terms of volatility. There will be volatility coming very, very shortly. And in the first 5 minutes of this video, I need to recap what I discussed yesterday. It's necessary to do. I know people get bored of hearing the same thing, but we need to discuss the level that matters. The upside level at 124,000 and the downside level at 110,000 will be exceptionally important with this big move coming. But luckily, it's not all recapping. In the second half of this video, I'll be bringing up new information in regards to Ethereum and the way it's performing against the altcoin market. Ethereum is still looking very dominant against the altcoin market, and there's quite a few things to say there. So a lot of recapping today, but regardless, it remains useful information. To avoid recapping as well in tomorrow's video, I've gone ahead and posted another Q&A post. Ask me a question about the market that you'd like to see answered in an upcoming video. Go ahead and put your question in the post section of the YouTube channel. There it is. You can find it. Anything about the market, anything about Bitcoin, altcoins, whatever it may be, Ethereum, macro economy, and I'll answer it with a video. Those are always very, very engaging videos to make. And you guys get a lot of use out of it, I'm sure. So go ahead and do that. The last thing I'll get you to do is check out the Bitunix Exchange, and then we'll get into it. A lot of people ask me what exchange I use as a trader. I use the Bitunix Exchange, and I don't have a contract with them. I haven't signed anything with them. I don't work for them. I advertise them on my own accord. With my referral link down below, you can get a 15% trading fee discount permanently attached to your account, as well as up to 8,000 USDT in rewards just by signing up with my link down below. Why would you sign up? Well, it's global, it's non-KYC, it's never been hacked before, it's got all of the functions and pairs that you would expect for a major exchange. For that reason, I use it. And I implore you to consider using it as well. Sign up with my link to help out the channel, help out yourself. Cheers. Yesterday, I posted a video saying Bitcoin's next parabolic leg is almost ready, and I stand by that. We had the FOMC decision yesterday. It was a non-event, but regardless of the fact that it was a non-event, we still have intense Bollinger Band compression on the Bitcoin daily chart. This is a telltale sign that a big move is coming within a very short period of time. It's very, very rare for Bitcoin to continue compressing within such a tightly clamped Bollinger Band. In fact, it's happened almost no times really on the Bitcoin daily chart in the last couple of years. The last time we had compression this intense, as you can see right there, look how close those bands are together. The last time we had compression that intense on the Bitcoin daily chart was probably back here in February. And the compression in February, which was shortly after followed by a big breakdown, led to a breakdown, not a random breakdown, but a breakdown from a very important support level and threatened to have Bitcoin basically double topping and ending the bull market. So that's the last time we saw compression this big. And it led to a major invalidation of a major support line on Bitcoin and a pretty major deviation from a macro range we were forming on Bitcoin. So that just gives you an idea of how rare the situation we are in now. Obviously, it's not like, totally unseen. It was 6 months ago we saw it, but 6 months is a pretty significant period of time. So we're seeing something right now, a level of compression that we have not seen for 6 months. And the last time we saw it, it led to a move, it doesn't matter what direction the move was in, but more so just the volatility, a move of 21% in a 4-day period. So that's the kind of level of compression we're dealing with right now. And we know that it can't last long. So something big is coming. Now, just recapping what I said yesterday, the big question is, well, is that coming to the upside or to the downside? Now, given the state of the market on a macro perspective, of course, we are in a macro bull market. Of course, the 4-year cycle says we still have more time left, and so we can probably expect it to be to the upside, but we still have to look out in case it is to the downside. We have to know what levels to watch in case everything falls apart. And that's where this yellow line comes in. The yellow line goes right back to 2017. It cuts through the 2021 all-time highs, and it cuts right through the Bitcoin price action even up to last year and early this year. You can see we're holding onto that level right now, forming some type of bull flag potentially on top of that level. So some kind of bullish structure, we're holding onto it. But obviously if we drop below it, that could be bad news. Now, given the fact that this yellow level, although it is major, it is actually prone to fake outs. 2021, for example, we faked out above it on a couple of occasions. And even as we're speaking right now in this recent price range, we have faked out below it on one occasion right here. So I'm not really going to go ahead and say I don't think it's logical to say that breaking this level equals everything's screwed, because we can fake out below it. And for that reason, I'm looking for the next support level below the level that matters here in yellow, for basically our cautionary line, our line through which, if it breaks down, that could be a dangerous situation potentially developing. That could be a bear market potentially developing. And in my view, that line is going to be about $110,000, which is the neckline of resistance we faced for about a month on end there, and clearly is a support level, not only just through visual identification, but also looking at the volume profile. We can see that volume on the volume profile severely starts to pick up around that $110,000 level. So the level in which Bitcoin would start to enter genuinely dangerous territory would be below 110,000. And in order to actually confirm a full bear market, you're actually looking at indicators that are much lower, like the weekly chart Gaussian channel, which currently sits at about 80,000. But the reason why 110,000 would be particularly concerning to me right now is because we don't have much time left in the cycle. We don't have much time left to go right down to 80,000 once again. It wouldn't be clean. It would be very, very time consuming. And we're meant to be seeing a top, according to the 4-year cycle, in late October. So in my view, even a drop below 110,000 might even be enough, if it is supported by traditional markets dropping as well, to say, okay, this is looking very bad. This could be a break of the cycle. But that's something we will be forced to assess at the time if it does happen. At this point in time, we don't need to worry about that because it's not happening yet. And I don't feel comfortable making any concrete claims there. All I'm comfortable saying is 110,000 is an important support zone. And if it is lost, that could be very concerning. Not necessarily a bull market ending, but very concerning. As for the upside level, it's hidden. And a lot of people, don't seem to know much about what's going on to the upside on Bitcoin since it's in price discovery. But if we go ahead and take a look at the Bitcoin 2-week RSI, we can see we are actually sitting on a breakout point right now. Right there, you can see it. And that breakout point is being cross-validated via this channel, which has angles, and the angles are halving each cycle from top to top and bottom to bottom. Extrapolating that trend forward of the angles halving, we have resistance at $124,000. That is being independently verified as well by the Powerwall chart on Bitcoin, which shows resistance at $124,000 as well, from the same line that has rejected Bitcoin on multiple occasions over the last 18 months. So there is very strong macro resistance at 124, and that white line there represents it. And we've got the macro support sitting, in my view, at about 110. So this is all recapping, and you're probably thinking, oh, Wolf, we've heard you say this before, but the compression is occurring. It's the biggest compression we've seen in 6 months, and it will lead to a dramatic move, either above 124 or below 110. I think we will move upwards. I think that's what the cycle suggests at this point, but we always need to be aware of the downside risk so we can react if it occurs. Predictions have no monetary value. There is no value in predictions. They mean nothing. What matters is whether or not you're buying and selling, and that should purely be done based on what's happening in the charts. The charts say 110 and 124 are probably the levels that matter the most. Moving into something a bit more new now, and this is the Ethereum chart versus the total cryptocurrency market cap chart. As you well know, if you've watched this channel before, the fact of the matter is we are in an Ethereum season. We are not in an altcoin season. Ethereum has moved upwards 180% from its lows in April, while Bitcoin and the broader altcoin market have only moved upwards 70%, okay? Ethereum is tripling the altcoin market's performance, and it's tripling Bitcoin's performance. Ethereum also sits at the brink of a massive breakout point, both on the price chart with that line stemming backwards from November 2021. I want you to go ahead and draw that in on your charts, which lines up, by the way, with another important price chart line matching the RSI chart line, matching the price chart line with the same exact retest, right? Retest back here at the 2021 all-time high, retest over here in about March 2024, and retest over here right now as we speak. If we see Ethereum move above this white line on the price chart at around $4,000, it will also move above its momentum indicator resistance. This will be huge. This will lead to a big move on Ethereum. Ethereum is really primed for another leg to the upside. The same can't really be said about altcoins at the moment. Unfortunately, we have a lot of uncertainty on the altcoin market still. Now, obviously, Ethereum moving upwards is great for altcoins, and there's always the opportunity for that money to trickle down into altcoins. That probably will happen at some point. But at this point, when I look at the Ethereum chart, I see a chart that is primed for a next leg, primed for continued outperformance of Bitcoin. When I look at the altcoin market chart, the total 3 cryptocurrency market cap chart, I just see a basic resistance support flip occurring with no real trigger points for breakouts in the same way that Ethereum has. I see continued prospects for basically average performance. I don't see these massive breakout points being touched here like I see on Ethereum. And looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, which is mainly focusing on the broader altcoin market, not necessarily on Ethereum, by the way, the best way to measure Ethereum's performance is looking at the Ethereum BTC chart. So this is kind of Bitcoin versus altcoins here. We see support zones, and we see a retest of a support zone. We've retested a couple of times, going way backwards to earlier in the year. We don't see, again, these massive trigger points or massive breakouts ready to happen. Now, that could change in a heartbeat. It could change as soon as Bitcoin makes its next macro move. You could see a big shift in the money flow cycle. But at this point, I really just want to highlight even further that it's really Ethereum that is taking the spotlight. It's really Ethereum that looks like it has big prospects for another beautiful leg of outperformance. And we're not quite seeing that on altcoins yet. That could change. Altcoins don't necessarily look bad. We're seeing a flip of 1 trillion. That's great to see. We're seeing a massive cup formation. There is probably going to be something coming in the future if we do see a regular bull market for altcoins. But right now, it is looking much better for Ethereum still. So overall, Bitcoin almost ready to move. It's compressing very tightly. Hopefully we're not disappointed there. Hopefully that move continues to the upside as we are probably expecting as per the cycle. And we're still seeing Ethereum looking very, very strong and dominating the market, and with prospects to continue doing so. Maybe that shifts, maybe it doesn't. We'll have to react when it occurs. But at this point, this is still an Ethereum dominated market. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. As I said, go ahead and ask me a question about the market in the post right here. Leave your comment and I'll answer it in the next video. Really appreciate it. Check out the Bitunix Exchange. A lot of people ask me what exchange I use as a trader. I use the Bitunix Exchange, and I don't have a contract with them. I haven't signed anything with them. I don't work for them. I advertise them on my own accord. With my referral link down below, you can get a 15% trading fee discount permanently attached to your account, as well as up to 8,000 USDT in rewards just by signing up with my link down below. Why would you sign up? Well, it's global. It's non-KYC. It's never been hacked before. It's got all of the functions and pairs that you would expect for a major exchange. For that reason, I use it. And I implore you to consider using it as well. Sign up with my link to help out the channel, help out yourself. Cheers.